Our final speaker is Meghan Bouman, and she will be breaking the stigma surrounding people with disabilities.
Hello, everyone. I would like to start off by introducing Robert Bouman. He was the ultimate family man and loved all sports. His favorite teams were the Detroit Tigers baseball, as well as the Michigan Wolverines, who are now the NCAA men's basketball runner-up, unfortunately, as of last night. He wouldn't have been very excited about their performance. But most importantly, he was my grandfather. At age 50, his life would be changed forever. He was taking down the Christmas tree lights when he fell 2 feet to the ground off a ladder. He ended up having a bone spur between his cervical spine 5 and cervical spine 6, which caused a spinal cord injury to his spinal cord. This injury resulted in him spending the rest of his life in a wheelchair. My family made it their mission to help him live his life fully, and he always had a positive attitude. But I want to fast forward 10 years when I was born. I grew up knowing his disability as normal. I enjoyed being able to hop on his wheelchair when we were taking long walks to get ice cream, and I thought it normal that we had to strap a spoon to his hand in order for him to enjoy dinner with us. And my brother and I would fight over who got to push the buttons on his lift to get him in and out of the car. But at 9 years old, I lost my biggest fan. A year after his passing in 6th grade, we were required to write a speech on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I wrote that I had a dream to help people see people with disabilities as normal. I wrote how my grandfather helped me to see the world differently, and that people with disabilities may look weaker than an able-bodied individual, but indeed they are stronger for what they have been through and what they have to go through every day. I forgot about this speech until my first semester here at CSUN last year in the kinesiology program, where I'm focusing on adapted physical activity for people with disabilities. Every photograph that I've seen of my grandfather before his accident, he was playing tennis, golf. He was always active and outside. But after his accident, he lived a life of physical inactivity. He would have loved to have an outlet to remain physically active, even in his wheelchair. Here at CSUN, we have the Center for Achievement, where we help 370 community members and CSUN students with disabilities. The CDC reports that 1 in 5 Americans have a disability. They also report that half of these individuals do not engage in any cardiac physical activity. This results in them having 3 times more likely the chance of having cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. The reason why the numbers of inactivity are so high is because they face so many barriers to physical activity, such as cost. When you rely on someone else to transport you from point A to point B, it also becomes more difficult. The location and lack of accessible facilities for people with disabilities to engage in physical activity. The knowledge how to exercise. A lot of people think of exercise as running on a treadmill or swimming laps in a pool. So the knowledge on how to exercise in a wheelchair or when you're not able to walk becomes a barrier. And all of these result in a lack of motivation. But I want to highlight that the poor attitudes of healthcare professionals is seen as a barrier for people with disabilities to achieve a physically active lifestyle. One strategy that has been documented as a way to benefit students going into the healthcare profession and their attitudes towards people with disability is student service learning. The research has shown that student service learning helps students to increase their confidence working with these special populations, as well as develop empathy for working with people with disabilities. However, the gap in the research is how these programs actually benefit the community members receiving these services. Here is the Center of Achievement here at CSUN. We have both a land-based program, which is full of equipment that is fully adapted to many different abilities, as well as an aquatic facility that has 4 therapeutic pools. I want to highlight some unique pieces of equipment that we have. We have an aquatic wheelchair ramp to help people get in and out of the pools quick. We have an underwater treadmill as well as a movable floor pool that actually the floor of the pool is able to be adjusted to adjust the water depth of the pool. After my first semester here at CSUN, I realized how unique our program was. And I when the time came that we had to choose our thesis, I wanted to help spread the word of our program. And I started looking into the literature, and I realized that the perceptions of the people with disabilities that are receiving these incredible services have been neglected. So I chose to investigate the perceptions of people with disabilities on physical activity as well as working with our students. I chose to interview 6 clients at our facility who had been attending for at least 3 years. So they had a lot of interaction with a lot of different students, and a lot of different relationships were built. Through my interview evaluation, I interviewed 6 clients for 30 minutes each, and I have begun transcribing as well as evaluating these interviews, and I've found 3 main themes so far. Theme number 1 was physical activity. One client stated that through her knowledge on spinal cord injury, she has seen exercise as medicine, and she realizes that she needs to use her abilities that she still has to the best of her ability. The next theme is student relationships. All 6 of the clients that I interviewed talked highly of their student interactions, and when asked what makes a successful kinesiology student, they responded with, if the student is able to use their imagination and willing to learn about their client. They also said there is a great student mentality at our facility. One client actually said that she enjoys coming to our facility and being surrounded by college-age students who still are so motivated and are just at the beginning of achieving their dreams. Lastly, family. One client stated that even though there are a lot of moving parts to our program and a lot of students come and go, there is still a core sense of family at our facility. At the end of my 6th grade speech, I mentioned that the way I would achieve my goal of helping people see people with disabilities as normal was by sharing my grandfather's story. And so I just wanted to say thank you for letting me share his story, as well as the exciting research opportunity that I have been given here at CSUN. Thank you.
Meghan, thank you for introducing us to your grandfather. I know we all love him, just like you do.
Yeah.
That was really sweet. You did a pilot study of 6 interviews.
Mm-hmm.
From that, how would you generalize, how would you spread the word, and how would you connect?
So the purpose of my study was to demonstrate how our program is very unique. So our undergraduate students actually get paired up with the community members and get to work one-on-one with our clients. And so I wanted to spread the word about our unique program, and hopefully through my study, we get positive feedback from our clients. And I have a colleague who is looking at the perspectives of the students towards people with disabilities. So I think combining both of our research will be able to show how combining student service learning as well as helping with those barriers to physical activity for people with disabilities is a beneficial way to benefit both the students as well as the community members with disabilities.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Meghan, for sharing your amazing dream with us today. And I don't know about you all, but I'm definitely feeling motivated and inspired after hearing all the presenters' work today. And I can't wait to see the different things they do in their communities as they continue to empower individuals as well as people in their community.